Good morning and welcome to SimWorld today. It is Wednesday morning, and that, of course, means one thing. We are blessed with the appearance of Sniper Jay. Good morning, Sniper. How are you?
Doing well. Happy to be here. Good morning, Marsh. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. I love my Wednesdays. We get to talk through some hoops. We got a little series going, which is great. Involves very little prep work from me in terms of thinking about what the topic is going to be. We're just churning these conferences out. I'm cheery. I am cheery every time we're recording for Wednesday. So I'm doing great. We are doing the Big East today. And Sniper, before we jump into the top three teams, I will say this about the Big East. And I've kind of hinted at this the last couple times we've been on.
They suck. Sorry.
That's it. That's kind of it. This is not a great, like, when I was looking through these teams and I'm like, who do I like? There's one team that I like. I think it's going to be very obvious who that team is. I'm not going to say it right now. We're going to get to it. The rest of the conference, especially with the injury to Jay Laster in Georgetown, I I really struggled. Like, I could talk myself in and out of so many teams in the Big East to say this is a contender. Did you feel like you had a similar feeling, I guess, about this conference? Because I was not impressed.
Uh, it is, yeah. I mean, it's really hard to pick 2 through 10.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very hard because, like, look there's like, before we jump in and actually give them, like, there's a case to be made. You could say, well, and there was a great article written yesterday. I think it was on the Athletic about Marquette and Shaka Smart. Great head coach in
Mhm.
Shaka Smart. You just lost two guys from a team that wasn't really good last season. Georgetown, good basketball team. You lost maybe your best scorer in Jay Laster. You could look at the St. Johnny's. St. John's, they've got Shea King, really good scorer, but they lost everything else, and this is a super young team with a lot of holes to fill. Like, every single roster, I just felt like I kind of wonder. We revisit this midway through the season, and there's going to be some team that neither of us picked is going to be number two in the conference because that's just where this conference sits right now.
Yeah, they all are equally bad,
Equally
equally
inept.
terrible.
Like, and I wonder, Sniper, do you think this could end up a little bit like the Big East last season, where, or excuse me, not the Big East, the Big Ten last season, where we had only one team, Purdue, was more than two games over 500. They had, I think, like 9 or 10 teams make, of their 12, make Hoopsteria. No one team outside of Iowa was the best team, but that was their record
Right.
was indicative because of Lemarian Sherwood's injury. Without
That's
Sherwood
right.
there, they were terrible. Like, do you think the Big East could look like the Big Ten, where record-wise you might have somebody saying, "Wow, this conference, look how deep it is," when in actuality it's just because there's not really a great team outside of one?
Yeah, I think that's exactly how this conference is going to look, actually. And surprisingly enough, I don't think this team is going to perform well in Hoops area or this conference
This,
at
yeah,
all.
no, I
I'm
agree.
just going to put it out there. The only team that has a chance is Villanova, and that's just being honest. And
Yeah,
they really don't have a chance. I could see them getting bounced in the second round, honestly.
I mean they got bounced early last season, right? Where did they got were they number they were one of the ones, right? There's so many number one seeds that went down. No, they ended up as number two, right? They lost to Maryland in the second round. Let's go with Villanova because I think we both are gonna say they're our number one team. I don't. I mean,
That's right.
we can finally cut to the chase here. So Villanova, what is it to you about Villanova that you love so much? Because I think probably the answer is pretty obvious right there, but I'm curious your takes.
I think they have a lottery pick in Justin Bell. I think he's going to be one of the key guys, one of the front runners from for the whole Simor, you not just Villanova, but like leading the charge.
Mm-hmm.
And then they bring in Lovejoy back, super athletic. I think people sleep on him. He's 6'11" now. And he has skill, and I'm pretty sure he's going to bring back more confidence than he had last year. And if he could get more physical for me in the paint and use that 6'11" frame, I think he's a dynamic second option on any level, even the SWBA because of his height and skill level.
Do you think Lovejoy's a lottery pick? Because to me, he fits that perfect mold of very athletic interior defender who's good. 15 points in college basketball is not easy to do.
Hmm.
He just kind of screams 10 through 16 to me in the draft. Like that this type of guy, rangy, lengthy, big man, they go in the middle of the first round and they end up having a 6 to 7 year at least SWBA career.
It's tough to say. Yes, he has the physical capabilities of being that high of a draft pick. I don't think he has the mental capabilities just yet.
Okay.
He's not, and I'm saying this from the college perspective, not from the pro level. He is not confident enough. He most of these guys you see, they perform. They got a little charisma about them at their college. He kind of just enjoys, or I wouldn't say he enjoys. He kind of just falls and playing that second fiddle. Like sometimes we want to see you step out of character and like showboat, dunk on somebody, take the leading scorer role, take the MVP role. Let Bell take a night off and show us why you belong to be in the lottery. Right now, you kind of just look at him like, we probably could use him for energy, but is he really strong enough to go out here and compete with the best in the world? No.
It's kind of like not to the same caliber of a prospect, but kind of like a guy that Siege and I talked about on Monday, Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins, the talent was always there with Wiggins. What was not always there, except for the 1 year the Warriors won a championship, was mentally locked in and playing. Like, he would dunk on somebody, and he would just be like, okay, I'm headed back.
Right.
See you later. That championship season when he dunked all over Luka, mean mugs at the camera, and you're like, who's this guy? Because I've never seen this version before. That is lacking in Lovejoy's game. Do you think that prohibits them from getting a national championship? Because I'll say, if they don't win a championship, we're talking all this John Shire hot seat.
Yeah.
I don't know that Kyle Neptune shouldn't be kind of spotlight on him.
Yeah, Cal Neptune's flying under the radar because he doesn't say much to the media. But yes, that seat is very warm over there as well, especially with the talent he has. It's you're right. It's national title or bust.
Now,
And it will fall on Lovejoy because, and I'm sorry, Marshall, but
no,
I think they got enough Justin Bell-ish players to take him out the game.
sure. So let me ask this, and this is a bit of a departure from our series that we're going through, but it's related. How do you feel about college programs and hot seats? Because it's hard to win a national championship. You need to go 6-0. Like, SWBA teams don't go 6-0. I know the talent level is different, but like, it is hard to go 6-0 and avoid an upset that quickly. Do you what's your opinion on college basketball teams and coaches that win 25 to 30 games year after year, but they don't quite get over the hump at the end? Should we really be looking at that and saying, okay, get out of here, we need somebody new? Because it's hard to win 25 games multiple seasons in a row.
They give them multi-year contracts, March. They give them time to recruit, bring in the recruits, win some, and now it's win all.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be okay, so here's how I look at it, and I'm a player, scout, mostly player. Here's how I see it. If you show us you can win, you done set the bar. Now you have to win. If you show us you can't win, we're kind of just gonna let you play out your contract and then we're gonna get rid of you. But
Sure.
most coaches in that second or third year they win without the pieces they need. Or if they come in with the old recruits and the old team, they win right away, and that sets the bar at a very high standard, and that kind of messes up and puts them on a hot seat before they are supposed to be put on a hot seat. That's how I feel about the hot seat.
Well, that's exactly what happened with Sean Miller. Takes Xavier all the way to a national championship game, and no one expected that Xavier Musketeer squad to get there, and there he goes. So, speaking of Xavier, I'm not necessarily saying they're my number 2 team, but moving on to the rest of the conference.
Right.
Is there a team that you would put in that number 2 slot right now?
Yeah.
Who do you have, or is it just too hard?
John's. I'm going
St.
Shea
John's.
King. I think he made the right decision by coming back to school again.
Uh-huh.
I think he is ready to be a star, and we saw glimpses of stardom from him last year. I was singing his praises early in the season. I was. St. John's looked good under Rick Pitino, but now I think he has that maturity that he needs not to let it fall or to slip through the cracks or not go one game where he gets 35 and then the next game he's like 12. I think he's going to find a 20-point average, and he's going to help these young guys win games.
Yeah, so I have St. John's as my number 3 team. I for that reason, I think the hardest thing, like college basketball, you need a good head coach, and they have a good head coach. You also need somebody who can score. Now, it doesn't always have to be a 20-point per game guy. I mean, look at Alabama. They had multiple dudes that were scoring in the teens, and that's fine. You can do that, but you need somebody who can put the ball in the basket, especially off the dribble. My go-to when I'm watching college basketball is specifically, the Hoopsteria. If I think a team can pull an upset, it's a team that has somebody who can score off the bounce. And a team that can't hit the upset is just a team they win their conference because their conference, like Vermont, UVM, they do not win games in postseason play. Why? Because they don't have anybody who can take it off the bounce. Shea King can take it off the bounce. Jared Quinney's a really good second option. And despite the fact that this entire roster, they have, 5 guys? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 guys returning. One of them is Luis Fultz, who played all of 1.6 minutes per game. They only have 3 rotation guys, really, because Silvio Center only played 11 minutes a game. They only have 3 rotation guys returning. That's very concerning, but that also speaks to just the complete lack of depth in the Big East.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I think they're going to I think they're going to find a way to sneak into that number 2 spot. But I definitely see them being 2 through 6. Through 6.
And they got of course, the freshman St. Lamar, the ninth, who somehow that name has lasted. I think I was talking. I don't know. I remember talking. I think it was Rick. That is an impressive family lineage. 9 straight names with St. Lamar. I mean, do you realize? Let's assume the average lifespan is 70 years. So
Right.
we're doing math here real quick. So 70 times, we'll say 8. That's 560 years. We're going nearly 6 centuries that somebody on face of planet Earth is named Saint Lamar, and it's all in the same family. I mean, that is
Boy, good blood. He got good blood. Good
that,
lineage.
that is impressive. That is impressive. I mean, we got to go back to the pre-civilization. I shouldn't say that. Pre-colonization of the United States of America. Somebody existed by the name of Saint Lamar. It's pretty
That's
good.
facts. You want to know what's crazy? That's a good way to keep track of your family history because most
It's
people
great.
don't know their family history. But these guys or this family don't know.
You know it. We know that there was a Saint Lamar walking around in who knows where with maybe a powdered wig on, just having a great time. So, all right, let's go to your number 3. Who's your number 3 contender in the Big East?
Like, I'm taking a team that's gonna make a flip. I'm taking Creighton.
Taking
I'm taking
Creighton.
Creighton.
Okay, talk me
Yep.
into him.
They lost 2 guys and they didn't want him to go, but it's not like they are crying over it. They're actually beefing over it. So
Mm-hmm.
I like the motivation that they got going into season. But Marsh, listen to me. Here's what they're bringing back. They're bringing a first round type of guy in Quan Singleton, 6'4" junior, average 12 points, played 33 minutes, experience. They're bringing back Marshawn Averett, played 24 minutes. He's a forward at 6'5", senior, experienced. And the last guy I want to talk about is I can't pronounce his name. Lausanne Corbrew.
Yeah.
Played 29 minutes experience. So it's not like this team just fell off the ropes or fell off the road when they lost the kids that went to Syracuse. I know their names, but I'm not going to disrespect Creighton right now. They see them. They're like, hey, we had a chance to be good with you. Now we're just going to beat you. And I think that's the mentality that this team's going to have. And I think they're going to be good enough in this conference to fight for that 3rd spot.
Okay. Well, so first off, let me apologize. I misspoke earlier. I said that Marquette lost 2 transfers. It was obviously Creighton that did. So, little live correction there. I do like the pick of Creighton. They did struggle last season, and I think again it goes to what do you try to find in a team that's going to be successful? Greg McDermott's a really good head coach. I mean, he has been a consistent head coach. He has had Creighton be a team that has made deep runs in college basketball. Don't forget, it was, let's see, so 2 seasons ago, I want to make sure I get my reference correct here. 2 seasons ago, Creighton was a top 10 team for the entire season, and they ended up making it to the final or the quad in which they lost to Miami 104-92. That was the closest game that Miami played in the entire national tournament. A 12-point win. Creighton got there. Now, I'm not here to give out participation trophies on that, but this
Right.
team is not far removed from being a national championship contender and playing the eventual national champions to their toughest game in that entire tournament.
Yeah, you make a great point, and you got to think about it. Everybody that lost their game to Miami and the quad is still on the team. They have that feeling. They know what it feels like to go there and feel the heartbreak.
Yep, you've got obviously our vet, or excuse me, Averett Senior. He was a freshman or a sophomore on that team. Chris Campbell was a freshman. Corbstu, freshman. Quan Singleton, freshman. Actually, let me see. I think Quan Singleton in that game, 26 points, 4 assists in the game against Creighton. 20 points when they beat Tennessee in the grade 8. He had 25 when they beat Michigan and Lorenzo Phenom and of course they beat Trey Turner in the grade 8 in the Super 16. Like he had 3 straight 20-point games on the way to that. We're almost talking my way into Creighton as the
I'm
as
trying to tell you, guys.
so this has quickly become Sniper, my favorite thing to do when we're looking at college basketball players, and it goes back, and I think, was it with you that we chatted after Game 4 of the SWBA Finals when Jalen Williams went off for 40 points? Was that you and I?
Yeah, we definitely talked about
So
him growing into himself.
so we did the let's find the next Jalen Williams, this guy that
Yeah.
goes from nobody to maybe he's kind of good to lottery pick, and now he's a max contract guy. Quan Singleton kind of fits that bill. 13 points as you mentioned, 5 boards, 3.2 assists, 2.1 steals, good on the defensive side of the ball, shot 35% from deep. Like that 35% is the most enticing number, not just for Quan Singleton, but across the board, because it's just if you can add 2 percentage points, 2 to 3 percentage points, and become a 38% 3-point shooter, you
Yeah.
suddenly enter a completely different realm as a prospect and a
Right.
potential star in the SWBA.
100%. He goes from being, in my eyes right now, a primary one to a combo guard that you could put at the 2, tell him to spot up, or you could tell him to, hey, we kind of need you to come off screens and shoot the ball now because you shoot at such a high clip. So yes, I agree with you. If he could find a way to improve his percentage just a little bit, I'm talking about take a couple more smart shots.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. He could find his way into maybe his dream.
So, despite all that, I'm going to stick with who I had at number 2, although I love your pick of Creighton, and I think this team's got a lot of upside, or that team does. But I've still got Georgetown coming in as my number 2. Yes, they lose Jay Laster, but you're returning
Yeah.
Keith Singleton, who's a really good point guard. I think he's a second-round pick right now. If he were to go, he needs to become a better three-point shooter. He shot 19%. Gives me a lot of Davion Mitchell vibes. Good. I
Okay.
mean, 2.4 steals per game. He's a great on-ball defender. If you remember Davion Mitchell's kind of rise at Baylor, he was kind of nobody, and then his senior year he shoots 40% from deep, and he ends up becoming like the 9th pick by the Kings, and people are kind of like, is he a 40% shooter, or was he just for one season a 40% shooter? And his track record has said he's not a 40% shooter. But you've got Keith Singleton, who's really good. You got Brandon Smith, who is in that range of could he become potentially a better 3-point shooter, 32% last season if he can improve there. But you're returning a lot of guys in the rotation. Nick Donato played 21 minutes. JoJo Kearney played 28 minutes. Singleton, 31. Brandon Smith, 32. This is a team that won last season 22 games and had a great defensive unit, and you're bringing back 4 guys that played huge minutes as part of getting to there.
Yep, you're 100% right. Georgetown is like a more veteran version of Creighton. They're bringing more
Yep.
back, and these guys played in significant games. It's just I don't know. Laster had that it factor, that
No.
leader, that I control everything that happens, and when I go, everything goes. So
Yep.
I hope that's not the case. They will have to find a new leader and a new energy guy because I think Laster was both of
Hmm.
those things for this team. But I like Georgetown. I couldn't put him in my top 3. I like Laster. Laster's my dude. I think Laster's a lottery pick just about just by the way how he carries himself on the basketball court.
Yeah, and I think it was a knee injury that was reported on that one. So, I mean, it definitely kills their upside, right? But in a
Yeah.
conference where you look around and you do the exercise, and it's really hard to find somebody that you're head over heels in love with. Like, like the Big 12, who we did last week, right? You know Kansas and Texas, right? Like,
Right.
it'll split hairs on one or two, right? But you knew walking in that's going to be your number one, your number two. And then you have this wide range of teams that you can kind of talk yourself into pretty much up until like the top six. So, like Oklahoma State and down from last season, you're probably harder to talk yourself into. That that doesn't exist in the Big East, and so I think that is part of why I like Georgetown there. Any parting thoughts here from the Big East as you're looking around that conference? Any expectations or anticipations?
I don't know. I'm looking at Seton Hall. I don't know why. They just got my attention. I'm not saying what they gonna be or what they gonna do, but they were at 7, and usually teams like that make a jump for the better. So look out for Seton Hall.
Seton Hall, I don't think they did. They got bounced earlier, right? I thought so. Yeah, they didn't even make Hoops Theory. I think they were one of the last teams to get in a season ago. So, Big East, a lot of talent there still. You got the national champion runner-ups. You got a potential number one pick still in the conference. Might not be the most, you know, beautiful basketball, but it'll be entertaining in some capacities. That is for sure. All right, Sniper, appreciate you jumping on with us here for the Wednesday show. We're back tomorrow morning. It's the big surprise day. We'll see if we can deliver on that surprise. So we look forward to doing all that tomorrow morning here on SimWorld TV, the only place you can see the game, be the game.